Hey, welcome. It's Brian, and this is Guitar Solo Reactions, and today we are doing Prince and the Revolution and When Doves Cry. So recently I did the radio version, I believe, which is about 3.5 minutes long, something like that, and immediately there was a ton of comments saying like, hey, you did the wrong version, because there's a version that's about 6 that has the guitar solo that basically they fade out the radio edit on. And I was like, what? Anyway, so I only know it from the song that was basically, I believe, the video from MTV. I know the song, and I'll relay the story again, that when I heard When Doves Cry, that intro, it really turned my ear, and that's when I first noticed Prince was a guitar player, and I knew who he was. I had heard other songs, obviously, before this, whether it was Little Red Corvette, 1999, and there's probably a few others that were out there. But I didn't really know him as a guitar player. And then when that came out, I go, wow, there's not a lot of people in the rock and or pop R&B that starts a song out that becomes this iconic piece with a cool octavized, fuzzy, kind of distorted guitar part that's kind of out there. And in that previous video I did, the kind of the radio edit version, many people kind of mentioned the Billy Gibbons interview with, is it Mike Wallace? I forget his name, the interviewer guy. Anyway, Billy has this great story about meeting Prince and asking him how he played that, and Prince's answer was basically like, I'm not sure, I haven't been able to replicate it since. So sometimes that divine inspired, whether it's singing, guitar, drums, bass, or whatever, is hard to recapture. And the truth is, we get to listen to it as much as we want. And that is one of the cornerstone pieces of why I knew Prince was a guitar player. So with all that said, we're going to do the whole song now. And here we go. It's that part. It's between the Lynn drum machine, that really angular, bright attack of that, and then the kind of octave. It's not really that distorted. It's kind of distorted with a lot of the octaver kind of sound on it. And it's almost like he's doing some fast picking with pulling off open strings or something. And it's such a weird sounding intro. So.
Covers me. Can you, my darling? Can you picture this? Dream if you can, a courtyard, an ocean of violets in bloom. Animals strike curious poses.
Another thing, and I just realized it while I'm listening to it, that whole part is just the drum machine with some effects, some like flanging and stuff like that. There's no bass. There's no piano. It's just his voice and a drum machine. And now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe there was a lot of stuff on this, and then he, an executive or someone said that it wouldn't work, and he pulled a bunch of stuff off and kind of came up with this more truncated, kind of ventilated version of it. So I'm not completely sure that I've got my story straight, but I think that's what I remember reading.
They feel the heat between me and you. Just leave me standing alone in a world that's so cold. Maybe I'm just too demanding. Maybe I'm just like my father, too bold. Maybe you're just like my mother. She's never satisfied. Why do we scream at each other? This is what it's
So it kind of shares that same guitar tone as the beginning, but a little more controlled, a little more traditional, like bending, just kind of a blues rock guitar solo that's really got some great phrasing, some cool repetitive stuff. And why they would cut that out of an official video release, I don't know. Although this does say official music video. I would have preferred the long version, of course. So. There we have it, Prince and the Revolution doing one of my favorite Prince songs, When Doves Cry, with the extended guitar solo. Well, they're calling it the extended version, but the song is almost twice as long as what I originally did, which was like the radio edit. And like I said at the beginning, quickly, many people were like, hey, you did the wrong version. So I agree. The guitar solo really is cool. It kind of recaptures the tone of the intro, but not that kind of. It's a little more like for the song. Like it has a lot of elements of some cool figures. It's kind of a bluesy thing, lots of cool bending, and more of a guitar solo. Where that intro thing is like kind of almost like a sheets of sound kind of approach to guitar solos. More of a texture almost with the octaver and the amount of notes and all of that. And again, one of the most iconic intros of any song I can think of in the pop world, or rock world, I guess, as well. So anyway, I am Brian. I love Prince, and thanks for watching.